What's up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Projects. I'm Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, October 5th. Quick look at our 10-day weather here. If you didn't catch this morning, we had a little bit of a Santa Ana blow, so temps jumped back up. It was 80 today. It was nice and hot. And looks like that's going to hold for the remainder of the week until Monday, and then we're going to get a little bit of a northwest wind here. It's going to take things back down to fall territory again, but we're still showing a little bit of cloud cover here. We'll see how that plays out here. But let's take a look at the wind forecast. Now this is what I'm talking about when it comes to fall fishing conditions. Light winds offshore, fast travel to the places you want to be. And this is what I think of when I think of October fishing, which is why it's one of my favorite months to go fishing. But yeah. Things are looking really nice, 10, 12 knots, just enough wind to fly a kite. Light winds in the morning, so you can get there kind of fast if the bump's down. And it's looking really, really nice the next several days until it looks like maybe Sunday night. We're going to get a little northwest blow again. That's going to drop your air temperature again and probably put a little bit of a damper on the water temps as we head into Monday. This stuff starts to speed up again up north. But for those guys up north, San Francisco, Fort Bragg, it looks like you're going to have a little weather window here. Again, same type of time period here to go try and chase some of the albacore stuff. And maybe another big eye, see if we can get another big one going. But yeah, that's 20, 25 knot stuff the rest of the week. It's going to put a little bit of a damper on the fishing out there. So we'll see what happens. I'm supposed to be on a boat next weekend for a couple days, but you know how these forecasts are this far out. They're completely unreliable. So I don't really care what's going on until I get a little bit closer. But marine conditions, like I said, not until Monday, gust of 15, wind waves 2 feet, and then this northwest 2 to 3 at 6 seconds. That can be a little bit bumpy for some small boat guys, and it turns into 3 to 4 in the evening. So again, just be on the lookout for that. Water temps. This is the 3-day, so this is a pretty good looking chart here. Not much cloud cover with the sun being out, and yeah, this blue stuff here, 66, 67. This is showing a decline, so just be prepared. We are in the fourth quarter of the fishing season. Typically we get a good run through October, and then usually by the second week in November is when I pretty much, I call it wrapping things up. Usually this stuff's on the retreat on its way out, and definitely a significant less volume. But volumes the last week or two have been looking really good. So until the time being, steady good fall fishing. Definitely a lot of good stuff going on out there. So let's look at the watercolor just so you can kind of see also what's going on here. That green water's fading, so you're going to have a lot of the baits need to start pushing back in towards shore, moving on out west and spreading out. So we'll see what happens with that. But when this happens, I expect the fish to start going back towards the high spots in areas where nutrients pushes up, and the bait will congregate in those areas as well, instead of so much just in the heavy green water here. So no more of the red tide showing, nothing like that. So this is pretty standard stuff here, and fall is definitely on its way. So let's talk local fishing. We're still seeing some of this bluefin pop up here below the Channel Islands. Again, I wouldn't be chasing this stuff Monday-ish or late Sunday with that wind coming, but still some big bluefin around here. It's still biting, not quite the volume that we saw earlier this year, but they're still around, definitely up here, worth chasing if you're up in the area. Moving down south, islands, no word from St. Nick still. A little bit of a sprinkle at Yellowtail at Santa Barbara Island, but again, most people are just optioning for offshore fishing, considering that you don't need a whole lot of conditions. Catalina, still a little sprinkle of yellowtail around that island. There's been a lot more squid showing on the backside. But yeah, again, offshore fishing, still a better choice. And San Clemente Island, home of the flies and the seals and the Navy. But so far, still, we had this little warm streak of warm water in the front, and that's really just being blocked from the wind. Still some yellows here found on the front side. Not much pressure on them, so check the schedule. If that's something you want to chase, definitely an option, but there is significantly a lot more fish closer than that. Coronados, again, not much pressure. Offshore fishing has been pretty good. You don't need you don't need a permit to go offshore fishing, but biosphere bracelet for the Coronado Islands, Mexican fishing permit, all that. So all things to keep in mind, especially costs when gas is $7 a gallon. So the difference between a 2 mile per gallon boat at cruising speed and 1 mile per gallon is pretty significant. So it all adds up, and make the best decision what's good for you. But fishing, we've got plenty of volume around. Let's start with this warm water area from the 14 south to, I'll call it the 312. This volume of warm water in this area has been filled with bluefin, yellowfin, occasional dorado. Fishing has been pretty good out here. All this fishing, majority has been daytime. I'm sure there's some fish around nighttime, but you're really going to see that on a sport boat. But daytime fly line. This area doesn't seem to have that bigger size fish, although you never know. But most of the stuff seems to be on the smaller side, up to 60, 70 pounds. You might find occasional fish in this warmer water down below here, spread out sporadically. Like I said, you never know what you're going to run into, but good volume of fish from the 14 to, let's call it the 312 to the 267, kind of in this area, in this warm water area that's still here. Moving further south, we've seen a good volume from the 43 down below in the corner as well. Again, a lot of people not opting to fish Mexican waters, so you don't need the extra fishing license or permits for all the sport boats. So seeing a lot of traffic around the 43 and south of here. There is bigger bluefin in this area. It's still a mix of bluefin, yellowfin, and dorado, but we are seeing bigger bluefin in this area as well. It's like 180 pounds or so. Fly line fishing, so if you see some big ones around, obviously I wouldn't be fishing anything less than 30, and try to fish heavier if you can, maybe 40 or 50 if you can get away with it. If you're definitely seeing big fish, don't fish 30. And you can get away with a smaller hook, maybe a number 2. And if for some reason, they're being finicky, you can try using non-ringed hooks. You can tie a perfection loop if you want to attach your hook to try and still give your hook that loose feeling to a good swimming bait, but hide the ring of the hook. You could try top hooking your bait, when things get a little finicky. Again, these fish are going to be kind of pressured here, so you might get some squirrely ones, or you might need to fish on the edge of, if there's a big float till out there, fish on the edges, stay out of this. The more boats, the more problems. That's always been the case. So if you pick yourself off a nice little piece of water out here on the edge away from everybody, and you find a good school, then stick with that. Mexican waters, not a whole lot of info coming on down here. The guys that are fishing down further south on Ensenada, still seeing some of the smaller grade yellowfin, bluefin, and dorado. I haven't really seen any over 30 pounds, so I'm sure it's around, but it seems like the bigger fish are kind of staying a little bit further west. Speaking of bigger fish, Tanner and Cortez, there is still some yellowtail on those high spots, and we're seeing some more of that bigger bluefin show up now. Up to 288. There was a 288 caught on a frequent flyer on the Sea Adventure 80 this week. That was pretty rad. Nice seeing those baits I came up with a couple of years ago put to work, and still working. So if you're looking for one, we don't have any left in our store. I think there's a few left at Performance Tackle. Maybe you might be able to find one there. But yeah, they do work. I know there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different flying fish lures now, so we haven't really made any updates to it, and haven't really made any more. Just there's so many out there now that we don't want to compete and try to make an investment into a better product again when there's just so much competition with a lot less sales to offset that cost. So for the time being, if you got one, they still do work, and there's big fish to be had out there. So that's it for this week, guys. Be safe out there. I'm gonna enjoy some Tecates below the border this weekend, and we'll see you next week, guys. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingprojects.com. And make sure you share the stoke.